Omaha. Welcome into another episode of Restaurant Hoppen. I'm your host, Dan Hoppen, and I am so excited for this episode today because for all the restaurants that I visit, I feel like the ones that I like the best are the ones that have some real heart behind them. This is not an industry that you enter for money, for fame, for anything like that. You enter it because there's heart and intentionality behind what you're doing. And I think that is definitely the case with my guests today. I have the owners of Barb's Breakfast Bar, Amya and Amanda Frazier. Guys, welcome so much to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
All right, real quick, for anyone listening, because we have multiple voices on the podcast today, can I have each of you just introduce yourselves real briefly?
Yes, I'm Amya Frazier. I'm Amanda's little sister. This is my big sister, and we own Barb's Breakfast Bar together.
I am Amanda Frazier, and this is my little sister. I am her big sister, Amanda Frazier, and yes, we own Barb's Breakfast Bar.
Okay, and let's get into it. So with most episodes, I like to start off talking about the food, and we will definitely get into the food today. But I think we have to start with the reason why you guys are doing it first, and that's your mom, Barb. Can you just tell me a little bit about Barb and how her legacy lives on through your food truck?
Barb, her name is Barbara Celeste Frazier. She was born in 1969. She developed breast cancer. She found her own lump in her breast, actually, when she was 33. She fought cancer. She had her breast removed. It spread out of her breast. Actually, when she went to the hospital, they told her she was too young. But this was years ago. And so it ended up spreading. So she had her breast removed. She did chemo treatments and radiation treatments. This happened when I was 12. Amya was 2. My mom was super strong. She showed that all the time. And she was, like I said, she was super strong. She lost her battle with cancer July 12th of 2008. Amya was 9 and I was 19. And I know with a lot of people with death, it's so normalized. And sometimes, people don't really realize what grief is until you go through it. And it's been a long journey without our mom. And there was 10 years there where it was, very dark. And, for at least for me, I only can speak for myself. And I took years of taking that pain from losing my mother in negative ways. And it's like Barb's Breakfast Bar was finally this opportunity to take all this energy, because love never dies. Let me just say that. Take all this energy and put it into something positive. And I've had to cry many times, and I've watched my sister cry. And I just want to say that Amya is identical to our mother. So if you want a depiction on what she looks like, it's Amya. Amya is just like my mother. And when my mother passed away, Amya was 9. So I was alone for a long time, and my sister has grown into something so amazing. I mean, she's the GOAT. I'm the big sister, but she's really the GOAT here. And I get to experience this love through her and through the food truck again. And so that's where it all started. We have this passion, we share the same pain in that nature. And then coincidentally in our life, Amya has worked the front of the house for the last 7 years. And I've been in the back in the house for the last 7 years. And breakfast was a good opportunity that we came together growing up in the house. Amya's been scrambling eggs since she was 2. That was her job in the kitchen.
You can tell when you taste them. There's some experience in those scrambled eggs.
Yeah, so it's just been great. Like you said, you don't do this to get rich. It's more about this experience. And like we get to just share that love that we had with our mom when we're on the truck. And we've taken it one step at a time. No loans or anything, $1 at a time. And some days are, can be a little overwhelming sometimes. But like I said, that's what we're doing it for. At least that's what I know. That's what I'm doing it for. It's for the love and the passion. And then we finally can just put that in a positive way.
Was Barbara a great cook?
She was.
Yeah?
Yes.
Was breakfast her specialty?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We used to have people come over all the time just for breakfast.
For breakfast, yeah.
It was like a whole thing. Like, people come over for dinner on Sunday. It was like, no, we're going to go over there Saturday morning to have breakfast. So it was pretty special to us.
Amanda, you mentioned that the truck has become a way to channel all this energy, all this, all this emotion that you have in a positive way. How so? How do you feel that?
Just because when I go to work, I still work full time. So when I go to work, I feel like I'm working. But the food truck is actually harder labor than my job, but I don't feel that labor, And anytime it gets overwhelming, it's actually a personality flaw of mine. I like to get out of the situation, you know what I mean? But this is the first time where it's like, this is something I can't stop thinking about. This is something I can't get away from. And I think that's what they call passion, and I feel like that's what I found. And so even though there's no money involved, I still am rewarded, and that's something I've never experienced. It's always been about the money because obviously we have, bills to pay and things like that. But I wouldn't stop doing this, So that's what I mean by I finally have somewhere to put this energy, into something, because there's a lot of energy there when it comes to my mother and my sister, because I truly love them. And I really believe that the world was created in love. And if we all can just get on the same accord and show love, that would be great. That would be my perfect world. So I do this to have those couple minutes with people to plant seeds. I'm not perfect, but if we can have a conversation and I say something that might help you get to another level, because I've come out of darkness and Barb's Breakfast Bar has been a tool for me to see the light, So if I can have this platform on the food truck and just get those opportunities to meet different people that I would never meet if I wasn't doing this. Like Kitchen Council is amazing. Holly and everyone that's in there, they've been so welcoming. This is all new to us. So just community and love, and that's what it's all about. And so I get a chance to do that, So
Amanda, if you need another side hustle, I think you could be a motivational speaker like tomorrow. Somebody needs to be paying you to inspire people. Normally 5 minutes into one of my episodes, we're talking about burgers or pepperoni pizza. Right now, I'm about to start crying.
Oh,
no, don't apologize.
I just wanted to be
great.
Transparent today.
No, this is awesome. I love it. You're bringing it, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
So this is not a full-time gig for either of you guys. This is something that is you're doing. It's a passion project on the side. Yeah. How many hours a week? And I'm sure this varies, but on average, do you think you spend on the truck?
Probably 32 hours.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a side hustle.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it's so worth it. It's so rewarding. We don't just wake up to go to our 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with the 9 to 5, but it's something that's greater for ourselves. And we used to not even like to speak of our mom because of the pain it brought. And we used to choke up over just the sound of her voice, not her voice, her name. So now we're in an environment where people are always asking us who Barb is, and we don't get sad. Yeah. If anything, we laugh about it now.
Yeah.
And we get to, experience it in a different way.
How much of a blessing is that to get an opportunity to carry on her legacy?
Oh my God. Such a blessing. Such a blessing.
So, I mean, we're talking 30 plus hours on the truck. And even if this were your full-time gig and you didn't have another job, restaurant life, especially food truck life, is tough.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, the bills, dealing with customers. I mean, there's a lot of really challenging aspects to this industry. When you're kind of in the thick of it, and it's just like you mentioned, you feel like you just want to walk away from it.
Yeah.
How inspiring is it to lean on? Because you watched your mom fight. She did not give in. She fought it. She was there for you guys. How do you use that as an example and an inspiration to not give in and say, hey, we got to keep going in this?
We do this all the time.
We do.
It's never easy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like you have to pick and choose. And that's the beauty of life. You have a choice. And we always choose the light, the love, the better. Because on the other side, the other choice is not all love, happiness, positivity. It's like, I have to go to work to make money. This is We get to go to work and get positive insight. We get to meet new people like you. It's not all about the money. That's really where it comes down to, because we would be quitting because of the money. Like, we need money. That's the only reason we don't quit, is because it's not all about the money.
And we have to remind ourselves of that. When one of us is, on the lower ends of things, you're like, it's not about the money though. Remember, you're right. It's not about the money. So yeah, it's just, we feed off of each other's, I have good days, and sometimes I might not have a good day, but Amaya is there, like I said, to remind me, and the memories of our mom is there to remind me. And that's really what keeps me going. I just try not to be too hard on myself. If something is making me sad, I feel those feelings, I'll cry it out, and there's always tomorrow. So I start over again a lot, but that's just, we're human. And like I said, I want to be as transparent as I can, because I think sometimes when you look at a business owner, I know myself, I think I just see all lights and glory, like, oh my God, this is amazing. And, and I just want to let you know the real, like, it doesn't matter what you do in life. There's going to be difficult days. And we lost our uncle actually a couple weeks ago. And I had a realization, like, wow, okay. Even when you're doing everything right in life, it's like life is still going to happen. And it's like, I had to ask myself, am I sober enough to, run a business and know that life is still going to happen? I'm still going to take losses. Like, I'm still going to cry. I still might not be able to afford this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day,
it's a choice.
It's a choice. And so we just choose light every day, over and over and over again. I want to repeat that. This is a choice every day, every second, every minute, every hour. You have to continually remind yourself of love. I feel like if you go back to love, it pretty much works itself out, right?
Man, you guys are awesome.
No, seriously, think about the most someone who made you upset. You're angry. You're in the midst of that anger. You're feeling that anger. This anger feels great because you're mad and you want to sit in that anger. But whenever I'm like, okay, I come back to love, my argument's canceled. It's canceled. And sometimes you just have to sit back and realize that, like, it's love. That's it. That is it. It's love. And I also want to say that if the food truck ever came down to anything other than love, Amaya, I feel we would be done with it, because we know this bond that we have on the truck, we can have without the truck. So if the truck turned into something that wasn't what we believe in love and light, that can go too, So you just have to remind yourself that, that self-care, that self-love, family, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Community, making someone feel like those people at Kitchen Counter, that's those people, I shouldn't say that, because it's a community and we are a part of that community now. And they show us that. And these people are so successful. And sometimes I have to remind myself who we're bumping shoulders with in the kitchen, and because, I mean, like not to undermine what we've done, but they just have some really amazing accomplishments and they make us feel invited. So that's what it's all about.
I mean, I think these first 15 minutes have shown exactly why you guys' food is so good, because it's not something that, okay, we're throwing this together, just get it out the window as fast as we can. Okay, that burrito is sold. That's another $2 in our pockets. Okay, next person up, next person up, next person up. No, we're representing here. We love what we do. We love what we're representing. We love the people that we're giving it to. We're going to give them the highest quality products that we can produce right here, right now, in these circumstances. And yeah, like I said, I think that's why your food is so good. You guys ready to talk about some food? Let's do it. All right. So at any point in this conversation, if you're listening to this and you're just like, man, I got to try this place, you can keep up with where you can find Barb's Breakfast Bar. Follow these guys on Instagram and on Facebook. Just search for Barb's Breakfast Bar. They've got a beautiful little piece of toast with some angel wings on it. That's the logo you can be looking out for. From what I've seen, you guys are usually posted up somewhere downtown, usually around coffee shops and stuff. But if you follow them on social media, they'll keep you up to date on where you can find them. So you offer a pretty pared down menu. There's a couple, like 4 breakfast sandwiches, a couple burritos, a traditional breakfast, a couple bowls, but it's not like this massive menu. And there's so many things that you can do with breakfast. What was the strategy for you guys keeping that menu so lean and clean?
Just to keep it lean and clean. We didn't want to experiment outside of the box too much because that's not what we had at home. We didn't have anything too crazy at home. It was very traditional: meat, eggs, something sweet,
Potatoes.
something potatoes.
Yeah.
That's about it. And we wanted to keep it traditional to us. We didn't really want to go along with the trends like gluten-free or vegan. Nothing wrong with those things, but that's just not where we came from. So we didn't want to represent anything that we don't know too much about.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so short and simple.
But that allows you, like, I love tiny menus, to be completely honest. I would much rather go to a place that has 8 menu items than 48. But you know that those 8 menu items, you guys have made that time and time again. You have honed in on those recipes and you have them down, as opposed to making a bunch of different things. So the names of your menu items are very interesting. You've got names like the Goddess, the King, the Promise. What is the kind of the origin behind those names?
I was literally standing in my kitchen before, I mean, maybe a year before we actually got started. And I know we had the 7 menu items. And honestly, if I'm honest, they came out of the thin air.
Really? As you're like cooking these and trying to decide what you're going to put on,
Yeah.
you
like when I wrote down the Goddess, I'm like, that just sounds like a burrito. It just, you know? I can't really tell you exactly where they came from.
Well, we definitely wanted to keep it in a positive light. We wanted to keep, the energy high. And with those names, it's kind of like you respect the king. The goddess is beautiful. All very enlightening names. Not like, fat croissant, because we want some fat croissant. We could have went silly with it, but we wanted it to be respectful. This is behind our mom. So all very respectful, loving, light, all that good stuff.
And what I really like about your food is it's just simple food cooked really well. It's scrambled eggs, but some of the better scrambled eggs that you're going to find. Like, you're not throwing in a bunch of gastronomy. There's not a bunch of sauces or like candied bacon, or you're just cooking bacon and sausage and eggs and just like doing it right and focusing on those elements. I think that's what makes it so great. By the way, I thought of the phrase that I was looking for 2 minutes ago: jack of all trades, master of none. You guys are the masters of those 8. So Pat, I want you to leave that in. Me being an idiot, not being able to remember that phrase: jack of all trades, master of none. Okay. I think one of the best things that I've had from you guys is the King, which is a breakfast sandwich that has bacon. It's got sausage, egg, and cheese onto a croissant. It is salty, it's fatty, it's savory, it's simple, but it's brilliant. How do you, when you have like such limited ingredients, how do you keep it all in balance without, like, like I said, you're not throwing a bunch of sauces or like caramelized onions or anything on there. You got to make sure every one of those elements plays its part perfectly on every sandwich. How do you keep things in balance with so few ingredients?
I know what I like to eat. And that's basically what it is. I know I would like the sandwich like that, so I would hope and pray that everyone else would like it like that. What do you think?
I agree with that.
You agree?
I agree with that. We're good at testing our food too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we try not to eat too much of it though. We really do try not to. But our dad is a huge sweet and savory guy. He's a big foodie too. Yeah. So I think those food combinations really come from him. He used to dream of food. Yeah. And he would make it the next day
for dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, I just dreamt of this amazing meal. Yeah. We're going to make it and we're going to eat it. Yeah. So
sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah. So it's kind of just, we think of it, put it together, and we just go with it.
Why? We talked about this a little bit when I visited the second time, but why are we not using more croissants on breakfast sandwiches?
Yeah.
Like, why are we using like stale English muffins or like, whatever bread? Give me a buttery croissant that is just going to like unleash
Yes.
Just that moist, buttery goodness every time I bite into it. What, like, is that what you guys grew up making breakfast sandwiches with, or where did that idea come from? Because I don't see it enough.
That's always been a favorite of mine. A croissant sandwich. Yeah. I think growing up, I preferred Burger King over McDonald's just because I'm like, Burger King has the croissants.
There you go.
Can we please go to, nothing against, but that's just, I don't know, just a preference.
A kid preference moment. Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask now about the scrambled eggs, because just about everyone has made scrambled eggs at some point in their life. So they're kind of thought of as like a simple, food, because anybody can make that in their kitchen. But it takes some skill to make scrambled eggs really well. And I think when you taste like elite level scrambled eggs, you're like, oh, something's different here.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking you to like give away all your secrets, but what are like one or two elements that, I mean, obviously the experience, you've been cooking them since you were 2, Amanda said, but what are one or two like things about your scrambled eggs that you think kind of take them to that next level?
Definitely wisping. I sit there and I wisp for a while because the longer you stir, the fluffier they get. So that was pretty cool. And when our first time moving into the commercial kitchen,
oh yeah,
I didn't know anything about, I've always been in the front of the house serving, taking people's orders, getting the food out, not really cooking in the back. So I've always cooked eggs on a pan, like a frying pan. So I brought my frying pans from home to the commercial kitchen to try to cook them in a pan. But I forgot we were cooking for the masses, not just at home. So I went from a frying pan to an actual flat top pan. And I've learned that you have to keep the eggs moving or else you get, not good eggs. So you want to wisp your eggs a lot and you want to keep them moving. So that's my advice.
So making good eggs is like cardiovascular.
Oh yeah,
exercise.
Sounds like life. Keep moving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I used to get not upset, but I was like, Amanda, you don't cook as much as me in the kitchen. She's the chef. The real chef came from chef backgrounds, and I'm cooking a lot of eggs. So yeah, we get to switch hats a lot.
We do.
You guys have mentioned kitchen council several times, and I just want to bring it up for listeners who aren't aware. I've had a lot of other people who work out of kitchen council on the show, and I had Holly on the show a couple months ago. She was tremendous. Kitchen council is in Council Bluffs, and it is it's a commercial kitchen where several different concepts and pop-ups operate out of, and that's where places can go and prepare their food and then take it out in a food truck or take it out in a pop-up. Food needs to be prepared in a commissary kitchen. You can't just like cook in your home and then take it out and sell it. Not allowed.
Right.
So shout out to Kitchen Council. They're awesome.
Shout out to Kitchen Council.
Seriously.
Are there any, I know we talked about how you guys like to keep the menu pretty lean, but are there any menu items that you are like dreaming of putting on there? Oh, okay. That looked excited.
Yes,
what do you got?
Okay.
And by the way, we won't hold your feet to the fire. If you say something here and you feel like, oh no, now we have to put it on the menu, we're not going to do that. But that just gives people another reason to follow you on Instagram, because they can hear what you're about to say and then wait for it anxiously and see if it ever comes.
Okay. So we really want to bring a lunch sandwich.
Okay.
It's a croissant sandwich.
You have me already.
Yes. Loaded with bacon, loaded with fresh spinach, and it's got our secret sweet and hot sauce drizzled on top with mayo, and
it's really
it's
good.
Pretty amazing. It's very refreshing. It still has like the sweetness from the breakfast you were expecting.
Yeah.
But it's got some heat behind it too. So it's definitely giving lunch. Yeah. It's giving lunch, brunch, good sandwich, but refreshing. That's something we're really leaning towards right now.
Yeah. Be on the lookout for that.
Okay. Is that close, or is that just kind of something that's
we're getting
in the distance? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of want to stay out later after lunch. After breakfast hours. So we're kind of trying to come up with a very small, limited lunch menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get into you guys' backgrounds a little bit, because you've teased it out. Amanda, you said you've been in the back of the house. Amaya, you've been front of house. What are your I don't know if you want to name, restaurant names or anything like that, but just kind of give me like a quick background of your experience in the restaurant industry.
My very, very first serving job was actually Lolo's Chicken and Waffles.
Oh, okay.
And that was pretty cool. I was super young, didn't really know what I was doing. Then I moved into a couple of other restaurants, but the previous kind of where I'm at. I'm in limbo right now, going between the food truck and my part-time job. But J. Gilbert's Steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
It's a more fine dining than anywhere else I've worked. So that's where I came from.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from J. Gilbert's. I mean, like silverware on the right, protein to the right, all that stuff. Yeah.
That's cool.
Thanks.
I've been in about I don't know if someone should be excited about it or not, but I've been in about like I was like 6 or 7 different kitchens. So I've learned a lot of different tricks or trades. I didn't go to culinary school or anything like that, but I've just worked around like just like kitchen council. Like on my journey, I just get lucky enough to be around some really awesome people that are nice enough to share, their wisdom with me. And I'm a hands-on learner, so I'm always looking for ways to learn things, and that's kind of mine. So I know. I wish I had a better.
You don't have to have a better answer.
Yeah,
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I've just been in different kitchens and I've just learned different things, and it's just everything has lined up to. I know exactly what I need to know to run the food truck, so it worked out.
How do you think you guys' variety of experiences? Because it doesn't sound like there's a lot of crossover. It's different restaurants.
Yeah.
It's totally different concepts. It's front of house versus back of house. How do you think that like kind of yin and yang allows Barbs to have success?
Excuse me. That's exactly what it is. Kind of yin and yang. We kind of, what I don't know, Amaya knows. What Amaya doesn't, I might know, and we just kind of, it just works. It ended up working out very well.
It definitely works.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. Sometimes when people meet us, we don't know what they think about us or stuff, but we just show them love, and hopefully that's kind of what we usually hope conquers it all.
Yeah.
Because there's mean people out here.
Yeah.
In this world, so we have to take care of each other and protect each other.
True that.
So we try not to be too soft because we don't want anyone to, step on us. But I try to play the nice role. Amanda tries to play the nice role, but we will definitely be mean if
You'll
we
come
need
down on
to.
somebody.
Yeah, we definitely will. And my sister's got my back for that. I've got her back, so
yeah,
we help each other.
Who had the idea to start the food truck? Where did that come from?
We used to live together as roommates, and we were on our porch, and it was during 2020, so we were just at home stuck, making money, not doing too much, and we were doing everything. We remodeled our house. We bought stuff.
Yeah, painted the porch, just trying to stay busy.
COVID. And then we were like, okay, what are we going to do to show for this money that we have?
Yeah.
So we immediately started taking our unemployed checks and just putting it into something that actually mattered.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it all started.
COVID. It's a COVID baby. Pandemic baby. I think that's what they call them.
Pandemic baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is something I've heard it so many times in this podcast studio. Like, obviously, COVID, absolutely terrible. So many bad things came from it. But one of the few good things that came from it was so many talented people all of a sudden were furloughed, laid off, whatever it might be. And all of a sudden they had an opportunity to slow down and think about, wait, what would it look like if I took my dream, if I took my concept, the thing that I am really passionate about, and I brought that to life? And it sounds like that's what happened for you guys.
I think COVID was just like an opportunity to just stop, and we were able to
do that.
Yeah.
So how did food truck enter your head?
We didn't even have a food truck.
Yeah, we didn't have a food truck at the time.
We just started throwing ideas.
Where food truck came from? But this is where it came. We couldn't afford a building. I remember I called my aunt, like, I found this building and it's amazing. And we have this great idea. And she's just like, Amanda, like, who has that kind of money? And I'm like, you're right. So then that's where food truck came. Like, okay, we can afford a food truck.
Yeah.
We can do that. We can make that happen.
That
so that's why we went with the food truck.
True. Because we even went to go look at
Yeah,
the
we
building.
looked at the building and everything.
Like we were really going to tell this real
These
estate agent.
really big dreams. Yeah.
No
So
money.
there's been times where we've had to like, okay, take a couple steps back and, level up from there. But yeah, we've always just kind of
go with the flow.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first conversation where you first started talking about, and not even food truck, but just, it sounds like restaurant was originally the idea when you were like, hey, let's start our own food thing.
Yeah.
Restaurant, food truck, whatever it might be. What was that first conversation?
I asked Amaya, I'm like, I just basically asked the question, would you want to like run a restaurant with me? Could you see yourself doing that? And she's like, yeah, oh my God, I would love to do that. So I was like, let's do it then. Once I knew that we were like on the same page there, it was a go.
Yeah, we immediately started walking different, talking different.
Yeah.
We were already restaurant owners.
Yeah.
After that conversation.
In
immediately.
Yeah. So it kind of was just like, we're not taking no for an answer. Like, nope, that's, if it was a no, we were figuring it out. Yeah. So I think that's a good reminder when times get hard. Sometimes I'll say, well, remember our first trip to Restaurant Depot, how happy we were to be there, because we've been there so many times now. So it's like, oh my God, Restaurant Depot.
And we're like, ooh, that's the owner of so and so. That's the other owner of this other place.
So we can just always remind ourselves, just like I was saying earlier, if we as a community can always remind ourselves of love, if we can always remind ourselves of that humble beginning, it's always like refreshing. Like, okay, this isn't that bad. This is what we asked for. This is what we want. Like, we have to keep moving forward.
Okay, so ground floor, you guys decide we're doing this. We're opening a food truck. What do you do? Where do you even start?
I went to the Greater Chamber of Omaha. I went to a meeting there with our cousin is Juanita Johnson, city councilwoman.
Okay.
And so I went to a meeting there with her, and the one thing that came for that meeting was Holly's number. And it really went from there. Like Holly, I can't say this enough. Holly is great. She's amazing. She's been so helpful through this journey. And I remember our first meeting with Holly, we were just kind of like overwhelmed with all these steps I had to take. She was real with us, and she told us exactly all the stuff we were going to have to do. And it was a little overwhelming, but she's like, you guys are doing it. And she said that on day one, and that just kind of stuck with me. Like, yeah, we're doing it one step at a time. So that helped in our start. Kitchen Council, like I said, big shouts out to Holly. She's been amazing. So
they have a whole food startup 101.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people were there on our first day, and we all got to stand up and tell everyone what we were doing. And that's kind of another thing. You got to be able to stand up and say what you were doing and what you want to do. So as long as you keep expressing that, it kind of just snowball effects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as Holly is being real with you guys and saying, because it's important to encourage, but also be like, this is not going to be easy. This is about to get real. This isn't going to be like the movie Chef, where you're just traveling around the country and it's all happy hunky-dory all the time, and you got huge crowds every day. There's going to be there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes you got to learn. Mm-hmm. Was there any point where you were like, "Ooh, we're really getting into it here," or was it still just like, yes, this is our passion, we are just all go, go, go?
Oh yeah, whole first season for me was go, 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 go.
Oh yeah,
I was like not human. Yeah, I was so passionate and so happy about what we had created and what was happening. I just, this season a little different.
We've seen a lot so far.
Yeah,
so we know what to expect and what not to expect. We don't get too excited for things, because once you get excited, you have a chance to be let down.
True.
So we don't go into anything expecting anything anymore.
True.
At first, no lie, when we were having the conversation on the couch the very first time, we thought we were going to be rich.
Yeah, we did.
By our first event. Our first event, we were like, we're quitting our jobs.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to work anymore. And that was probably the biggest moment of realization of like, okay, how bad do we want it?
Right.
And you're still here.
And we're still here.
Comes down to love.
Down to love.
If listeners got a dime for every time we say love on this podcast,
we'll be rich.
They could all retire.
That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned going into kitchen counseling and bringing your pan in and realizing, oh no, I'm going to be at a griddle here. No, I'm not saying this to embarrass you.
No, it was.
But were there any other realizations like that, like, oh, we're getting to cook in a like real professional space now. Were there any other moments like that?
All the time.
All the time.
Today still.
All the time.
All the time. We're always like, oh my God, I can't believe we did that last year.
Yeah.
Or all these things.
I think it's good to just sit still sometimes and take it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can be appreciative and grateful from where you started from. You get too busy, you never take a chance to stop and look back. Kind of you'll lose that gratefulness, So yeah.
How helpful is it at Kitchen Council? Because you're sharing a space with a lot of other successful entrepreneurs, from Dan at Chef Around the Block and Stacy at Veg Edible. I mean, so many different people that you can learn from, that you can lean on. How helpful has it been to have those other people there to bounce ideas off of, to learn from, just be able to talk to?
That's been amazing.
Super amazing. Once we got over the intimidation part, super great, nice people. It's just us. I'm speaking. This is the us problem.
Yeah.
But once we got past that, everyone has input on what we should do better. And it's not like oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that, from like a family member that's never been in this industry ever. It's more of a genuine, this is a good idea, you should do this because it helped me. And there's a lot of that.
And they help, they kind of give us little pushes to do things we need to do, you know, like we saw Chef Around the Block the other day in the kitchen, and honestly, we don't have any business cards. We haven't, there's no good explanation for that. We just haven't prioritized that. Like I said, we've just been, but he gets on us every time he sees us, and he's waiting for our business cards.
So he can help us out.
So he can help us, because that's something you need, So yeah, they're very helpful.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Because we do forget sometimes, like, oh, these people are probably going through the same thing that we're going through, like emotionally, mentally, physically, because we do a lot in the kitchen. So it is cool.
Great.
You may not have business cards, but I want to give you credit for having a website, and a very professional looking website. I am amazed every time I look up a new restaurant or a concept and it doesn't have a website, and I'm just like, guys, you cannot exist on Facebook. That will not last. But so good job on that. I don't know if you learned that from someone at Kitchen Council or if you just figured that out yourselves.
We had to figure that out pretty fast. Yeah. We wanted somewhere where we could just, post our things without having to log into Facebook or do all that stuff. Because some people don't have Facebook. That's a real thing. People don't have social media. So the website's the next best thing to get it out to people. We were a part of this secret sauce thing that Kitchen Council had going on. It was like a seminar, and he told us not to be the best kept secret. That's probably the biggest thing I took from the whole thing. Don't be the best kept secret.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get, we get scared.
Did you see the body language?
Yes.
Sometimes we get scared because it's overwhelming getting all this clout, and it's just a lot for us because we're very, in the shadows type of people. But we don't really like the starlight on our legit faces, so this is even kind of hard.
This is.
You guys are doing great. You don't seem nervous. You're doing awesome. Experience a piece of heaven. I think I have a pretty good idea, but I want to get it from you guys. How did you come up with that as your tagline?
Our mother is, gone to a better place. So my beliefs is that my mother dwells in heaven, and I just, like I said, growing up, I feel like I was able to experience real love from my mother. And like I said, I haven't really felt that love in many other places. And so that's why I feel like it's a real love. And so the heaven and love experience is just an experience. We just want to share that experience with other people, because we don't all come from the same backgrounds. And we have to remember that. And you don't know what the next person is going through or what they've been through. And you can be so quick to judge. And that's what experience heaven is. Like, I want that to be a place of community or encouragement or celebration, somewhere you can come and vent and not feel judged, or you don't have to get dressed to come to BBB in the morning, roll out of bed and come, because, we're people, we're all just people, and you just have to be sensitive. And that's experience in heaven to me, a very safe place, where you're not feeling judged. And that's experience in heaven for me.
Very well said.
Yeah. I don't know how to add on to that.
I'm just
Again, motivational speaker. Just keep that in mind. Back of your head. When and where was your first event?
First event actually was not on the truck.
Okay.
We sent out a mass text to family members and we're like, hey, we don't know if you guys know. We're about to start a breakfast food truck and we think the best feedback will come, from you guys. So it was at my apartment down in like the Commons area. And we've gotten so much better with compacting stuff, but we just had stuff, this whole spread. And so we did our first 2 breakfasts at my apartment with family. The first one was free and they tipped us really good. So we're excited. Like, oh, we're going to be rich. The second one we did $5 a head with family. And then the first time actually out on the truck would be College World Series. So almost exactly a year ago. It was at my place of employment. I was the cook at Spearmint Rhino Gentlemen's Club. And they allowed us to come out on the food truck College World Series.
And that was awesome.
Yeah.
We were going from 12 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It was the nightlife.
Yeah. So we actually started in the nightlife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was pretty awesome. We're actually trying to move back into going at 12 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
to feed those people that need some light.
They need some food.
Yeah, they need some food. Yeah. They need some food. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty exciting. We've been figuring it out. We even went to a Pet IQ, which is a workplace, and we did catering before we even had our truck. So that was awesome. We were outside of our element completely.
Yeah.
Serving people in their break room.
Yeah.
It was a whole break room. And I would take their order, relay the message, and Amanda would make it, and then we would give it out just like we were on the food truck.
So they were really nice. They kind of Stu Coffee. Shout outs to Maya Summers. He took a chance with us as well and let us park outside of the coffee shop. So just every opportunity is pretty much based behind really good people that
believed in us.
Yeah.
What's the most difficult part about operating breakfast on a food truck?
We have to wake up at 3 a.m. It takes about 2.5 hours on a good day. Sometimes things happen, so we might be in the kitchen for 3 hours. So we have to do that, and then we have to go and we were at our generator got stolen like the second week of operating again.
Jeez, come
on. Outside of the kitchen, and it was in the back of the truck, and someone took it out of the back of the truck. So
one single person.
Yeah. So that's an extra step too. Now we can't bring the generator to the kitchen with us because someone might, take it. So we go pick up the generator, and then we go pick up our trailer from storage, and then we load it up, and then we have to go. So we spend a lot of time driving, and it would be a lot easier if we were just going to one place and able to cook on the truck or in the building. But so I would say that was the most difficult, the legwork.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
For me, waking up at 3 a.m. to start my day is hard sometimes, but it's rewarding. I have such a long day compared to other people. And I used to wake up very late in the day. So this is like a complete 360 for me. I used to not be a morning person.
Yeah.
Now I'm a morning person.
You kind of had to force yourself into that.
Oh, it's a huge force, but it's cool. It's a choice. I choose to do it. So it's okay.
What are, do you think, some of the most important things that you've learned over the past year, especially? And you can take this in cooking breakfast, operating a food truck, just operating a business in general. Like, what are some of the things that you feel like you've learned that have been most pivotal to your success so far?
Gaining a strong mind. For sure. I'm very strong-minded now, especially.
Mm-hmm.
How did you develop that?
Definitely waking up at 3 a.m. Those thoughts are hard. I mean, I'm waking up for myself, not only, but I'm waking up for my sister, our business. Just having that, I want to express that everyone has a choice in life, and you have to choose. Probably, I don't know. There's a number, an outrageous number, like 100,000 choices a day that people have to make. It could be probably more. But I think what got me my strong mind is I make choices, and I know I have a choice to do things. So I just choose to do better for myself.
Yeah. Agreed.
What about you?
I learned how to back up a trailer.
That's a very important thing to learn.
Yes, it really stressed me out. I was like, we got to make time so I can learn how to do this because, of course, you want to be self-sufficient in your own business. But it has to be backed up in storage. So sometimes I'll back it up in 10 minutes. I'm learning. So every day I have to back this trailer up in our spot at the storage. So sometimes it takes me 30 minutes. Sometimes I have to, but I know how to do it now. And I'm excited about that.
That is cool.
That's a good skill to have.
It's a huge skill to have.
When you guys look at the future of Barbs, what do you see?
I see good things. No, we just wanted to create like a fast, affordable, quality breakfast. So with the like home style, you're still getting that home style. I just wanted to be something fast, so that's what I see for the future. Little BBB trailers all over Omaha, Nebraska, or all over the world, sharing love and light in fast, quality, affordable home style breakfast.
So you want to stay small and mobile. There's no dreams of opening a restaurant or anything like that. It's
I can't put my finger on it.
Okay. It's still so young and new.
Yeah.
Like it's a ball of clay. You guys can kind of mold it however you want to right now.
Yeah.
It's a very like solid ball of clay. Like you've got good ingredients to work with, but I'm excited to see where it goes next.
Me too.
This has been a fantastic conversation. I have 2 more questions for you guys that I like to ask just about everybody that I have on the show. First one is, what is one thing that you think that customers and guests don't understand about the restaurant industry that you wish they did understand?
I think a lot of times when customers hear the price, sometimes they're like, oh my God, like $20 for, remember that this is how, the price, things are expensive. So I think a lot of people know that, but for some reason when they order food and they feel like it's overpriced, it's a problem, but it's expensive for everybody. So you kind of have to lift those prices as things progress. Like you don't want to, like I said, affordable. I wish that I could sell everything I wish I could have like $1 menu and a $5 menu, but unfortunately, like we can't afford that. So I think that's something that people don't really think about,
It's amazing to me that people can go to the grocery store now and see the increased prices and be like, okay, this stinks, but I know I have to pay it.
Yeah.
And then they go to a restaurant and see that, that their favorite menu item is a little bit more expensive. And they're like, well, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
This makes no sense. And it's like, well, guess what? If you're paying more for food, they're paying more for food too. And like we talked about earlier, it's not like you guys have huge margins. You're not making gobs of money because, oh, this sandwich only costs us $2 to make and we're charging 10 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not how it works. If you want a $1 breakfast sandwich, you can go to McDonald's and get something that some high schooler threw together. If you want something that's created with love, it might cost a little bit more money. You're gonna taste it though, and it's gonna be worth it.
Definitely.
So sorry, I kind of hijacked that one.
No, you're good.
That is a little mini
Love
rant.
your feedback.
I'm
glad you understand.
I hear people say stuff like that, and it just drives me up a wall. I don't understand it. But anyway, Amaya?
I just want to chime in on what Amanda said.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm not going to say when, but we had a customer actually do something that blew my mind. She didn't have payment. Like, she didn't have the zip code of her card that I needed to take the payment. And she stood there and looked at us like we were supposed to just give her the food for free. And I was like, do you have any other form of payment? And she's like, no. And I said, one moment. And I closed the window and I was like, Amanda, she doesn't have any money. What do we do? And Amanda said, we'll give her the sandwich for free. And that's what we did. But it just baffled me that she looked at me like I was supposed to just say that to her, like, here's your free sandwich. Because you could never go anywhere corporate to do that.
No.
And it just blows my mind that people think just because we're local means it's negotiable, and it's not. So
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Those are very good answers.
Thanks.
But I want to get you guys out of here on a positive note.
Yeah.
And we've probably discussed this throughout the podcast, but I'll let you answer it anyway. What is your favorite part about being in the restaurant industry?
Well, just to go back on what you were just saying, and also a positive note, like you just said, um, honestly, that's the experience, a piece of heaven. And so I mean, like, I don't want to take away from what you just said.
No,
that she
do
had
it
did.
though. Do it though. Because this is,
Yeah.
we come back to love every time.
Yeah.
Even though it was irritating, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And I'm glad she felt comfortable enough to know that we are the people that will give her that sandwich for free, you know? And anytime that I can do that, I will. I mean, you know, I don't want to have a line, you know, like, because I can't afford that. But if I could, I would be giving out free sandwiches on my truck. So,
Yeah.
right?
True. We do. We do sometimes.
We do sometimes, yeah. Yeah, we try
And
to do
people are
that.
very appreciative of it too. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's my favorite part, the fact that we can give back. We don't have much, but we do get opportunities to give back, either positive words or food. So that's my favorite part.
It's amazing.
Thank you. What about you?
Are you echoing that, or?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever we have extra food and we have time, we will take the food to the homeless. So that's always cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's like, yeah, we're doing this for a business, for money for the food here and there, but the food is not that deep to us to just throw it away, you know, or not have her go hungry.
Yeah,
because she doesn't have money to pay for it.
So whenever we have time, because sometimes we have to get to work right after we get off the truck, but whenever we have time, we will take an extra little trip and just hand the food out instead of throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Best part.
Well, listeners, customers, no one's paying to listen to this. Listeners, this is the point where I gotta express to you, like, this is really good breakfast food. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, don't come here looking for cinnamon roll pancakes or a breakfast sandwich. It's, you know, got fried chicken and it's 10 inches tall. This is just going to be breakfast food cooked extremely well, prepared with care. Follow Barb's Breakfast Bar, especially on Instagram. I feel like that's where you guys are most active. They'll let you know where they're going to be. This is something that I would highly encourage you to try. Amanda and Amya, I'm so appreciative of you taking the time to, especially now that I know you're working full-time jobs and another 30 hours on the truck, for you to give me an hour today. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for having us. This was great.
It was great. It was awesome. We found a secret talent of Amanda.
I'm glad that we found that. Yeah, we need to get you out on the circuit now.
Yeah.
Whatever I can do.
All right. Omaha, as always, thanks for eating with us.